My dear Harbor friends from all corners of the world, I want to bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, as we reflect on tomorrow's readings, being the second Sunday of Lent. It is also very much important that we look back to what is happening in our world today. In a few days ago, there was this young man from Kenya who has reflected on his life, having his own sufferings with sickle cell anemia for 20 years, and now he feels disappointed in his life, and he only sees that he could only ask his medical doctors to euthanize him, to take away his life. It is very difficult because when I listen to his story, he complains of how he feels too much pain, so much pain in his body. Sometimes he cannot speak because he feels as if razor blades are chopping his tongue. He is in pain. The doctors cannot also find veins to add him up blood or drips. And so he's really in agony. I'm hoping that the readings for tomorrow, if he would get a chance to listen to them, perhaps they would bring him consolation. The whole reading provides us with a wisdom that God is our provider. Life in itself is a complete package. It is very much different from the movies that we watch, or from the programs that we watch, from the scenes that we watch on our YouTubes. There are times you go to a certain YouTube channel and you find, okay, it's not interesting, it is boring, and likewise to the movies. You might want to skip some certain series, but in life you cannot skip this. Sometimes we want to run away from old age. We do not want to be toothless, but it happens. Sometimes not because we want it, but that is how the life is. The old age may come. And so, my dear friends, let us see God in everything, God in all, in our suffering and also in our consolation. God was in our birth when we were born. Some of us looked very much beautiful, but now that we are aging, we no longer look the same. I'm not going to say that we are not beautiful, but if I reflect on myself, I know somehow I was a handsome boy, very much brilliant looking, different from now that I'm aging now. I may look ugly, but at the same time, I behold God in my own life because I know He's still working in me, in my ugliness and in my beauty, my physical beauty and my physical ugliness. He's still at work in me. And even to my death, I'm going to meet Him. And so what matters is really God in our story, in our own lives. There were times you were a boss, now you are no longer a boss. There were times you were promoted, now you are demoted. There are times, that you could enjoy life, and now you cannot move much. You can only move at a short distance. But that does not make you less a human being. It only shows how God is at work in our own lives and how God is working along with us. Keep going because God is in your story. In the second reading, we hear St. Paul assuring to the Romans that if God is for us, who can be against us? Is it death? Is it sickness? Is it hatred? There is nothing and there is nobody that can separate you from the love of God, except God Himself, if He wills. And my dear friends, looking at the first reading, we can see from the book of Genesis, this is Abraham. Abraham is walking with Isaac. He is going to sacrifice Isaac. Isaac is an innocent boy here. He's wondering, my father is going for a sacrifice. There are tools and, there is also instruments that goes along with the sacrifice. I don't see them. I see others. I see some of them, but I don't see the lamb, which is very much important, which we are going to be sacrificed, the sacrificial lamb. And so he asks his father, innocently, Dad, where is the lamb? And his Dad responds to him in faith. God will provide. And we see God providing that at this moment when he raised a sword to slaughter or to cut, to sacrifice his own son, the only son he loved, at the moment, the Lord provides a lamb for him. God is our provider. And we even sing that in Jamaica. The Lord is my provider. I will not beg for bread. He is my daddy. He is my dad. Oh, I do not beg for bread. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, looking at the gospel, we find again Jesus. He is in prayer. And he appears to James, Peter, and John on the mountain. He is transfigured, wearing a dazzling white clothing. His face is transfigured. What does he want to portray to us? That the trials that we go, the difficulties that we go, the challenges that we face, we too, we shall one day encounter that transfiguration. Our faces that seems ugly now, they'll be changed. They'll be brilliant as Jesus' face. This is the same Jesus who was disfigured on the cross, who was beaten, spit at, and now he's in the glory of the Father. He's enjoying with the Father. At the end of the tunnel, there is a victory. A few days ago, there is also one of our brothers who have lost his immediate family members. He has lost his mother, his brother, and his sister in a span of 3 days, or let's say in a period of 3 days. This brother is mourning now. He's tormented, but at the same time, I'm praying that these readings will bring consolation into his heart, that he'll be able to bear this heavy cross, knowing that it is not all over, because God is on our side. He'll continue to provide for him. He'll be there as his father. He'll send our Blessed Mother as his mother. Everyone else in the ministry that he is, in the ministry of Christ, he'll find sisters and brothers who will journey with him. The Lord is on our side. Who can be against us? God is my provider. He will be there to provide for me, as he has been there, being my story and your story. Rejoice in the Lord always.